evening. Welcome to Weekly Brief. In this program, we will catch you up on the biggest worldwide news stories of the week. I'm Magdalena Karpiesiuk, and let's start with some international news. On Tuesday, October 29th, Lebanese Prime Minister Saad Hariri announced on television that he will be submitting his resignation. This comes after 13 days of nationwide protests and demonstrations against the Lebanese government and the political elite class. The demonstrations began after a proposed tax on WhatsApp calls and have continued to block traffic on highways. The demonstrations turned violent as supporters and members of the Lebanese government began attacking protesters. During his announcement, Hariri stated, "My call to all the Lebanese is to prioritize the interests of Lebanon, the safety of Lebanon, the protection of civil peace, and the prevention of economic collapse before everything else." In more international news, massive protests continued in Bolivia on Tuesday, October 29th, after accusations of President Evo Morales committing election fraud surfaced on October 20th. Bolivians casted their votes for their next president, with President Evo Morales and his opponent Carlos Mesa leading the polls. After the polls closed, the night it indicated that Morales might have lost, but then the Bolivia Election Tribunal mysteriously stopped updating the election results for almost 24 hours. When the results came back, the tribunal reported that Morales was beating Mesa by thin margin. Mesa and his supporters are claiming election fraud and orchestrated demonstrations in the street. On Monday, October 28th, both Mesa and Morales held rallies, which led to violent clashes between Mesa and Morales supporters. Morales continues to deny the accusations and has invited the Organization of American States to audit the vote. In other news, the Bulgarian national football team has been ordered by UEFA to play its next game behind closed doors, as punishment for the racist behavior displayed by their fans during a Euro 2020 qualifier against England. The Bulgarian fans reportedly taunted black English players with Nazi salutes and monkey chants. Added to the punishment, the Bulgarian Football Union has also been fined $94,000 with 4 charges of racist behavior, throwing of objects, disruption of a national anthem, and showing replays on a big screen. On November 3rd, flights to and from New Delhi's international airport were delayed and diverted due to pollution reaching unbearable levels. CNN reports that 37 flights were diverted from the city's Indira Gandhi International Airport because of the poor visibility from the heavy smog. Recent reports show that New Delhi is the most polluted city in the world. Authorities have reportedly begun distributing face masks to school children in the city. In national news, President Trump announced on Sunday, October 27th, that ISIS leader Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi was dead after a U.S. military raid in Syria. According to the intel delivered by President Trump, U.S. Special Forces conducted a 2-hour nighttime raid on Baghdadi's compound in northern Syria and cornered Baghdadi into a dead-end tunnel. Baghdadi detonated a suicide vest, killing himself and 3 children. According to President Trump, there was no U.S. casualties during the operation. While many believe this to be a big step in ending the terrorist organization, others are questioning the actual impact this will have. A forensic pathologist hired by Jeffrey Epstein's brother disputed the claim of Epstein taking his own life, suggesting that he may have been strangled. Epstein died in a Manhattan federal jail back in August after being indicted on sex trafficking charges. The New York City Medical Examiner Office concluded that Epstein had hanged himself inside of the cell. However, the hired pathologist Dr. Michael Baden said that Epstein had experienced multiple injuries, one of which includes a broken bone in his neck. Baden states that these injuries are extremely unusual in suicidal hangings and could occur much more commonly in homicidal strangulation. And that's all for this week. Thanks for tuning in, and be sure to check back for more episodes. I'm Magdalena, and now you're all caught up for this week.